In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand
Order
today.
in the court.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I am Taurian B.
How we feeling today?
I'm feeling really good, man. I'm feeling really good. This will be a displaced week, but NFL playoffs have started, so I'm excited about that.
NFL playoffs have started. Who's our Super Bowl prediction?
Baltimore Ravens versus the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That would
obviously,
be so cool.
Obviously, you're from Detroit, so like I would like for you to like see like your city like get a win and everything like that, but more so for Felix.
Yeah.
Our buddy Felix is like a diehard Detroit Lions fan, and I know like seeing him like be like I went with Felix. Me and Felix actually, after the Giants won the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl that they won, me and him went to a bar, and there was a Patriots bar. And like we almost got into a fight. So like I always said like, yo, like that's how me and Felix like kind of like bonded and became friends. And I always say, yo, if the Detroit Lions win, I'll go with him to whatever bar he wants. And if he wants to get rowdy, like I'm with it.
I remember every time I would go to Detroit, he would ask for something from like some type of Lions merch, and I'll bring it back.
I always thought that was really like Felix is such an interesting guy. Like he's
like you a diehard Lions fan as a New Yorker. It's just so funny. As a New Yorker through and through, though.
Yeah,
he's such a
super duper New Yorker, right?
And then it's like, oh, who's your favorite NFL team? Oh, the Lions.
Yeah, very interesting.
The duality of Felix. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be exciting. The other half of that, the Ravens, we got Courtney.
Yeah.
Our friend Courtney, who's in Baltimore, who's obviously a diehard Ravens fan.
Right.
That'd be cool for him too.
It won't. I want them to lose.
Well,
but I do think that they are the odds on. I think that they can beat Kansas City. I think that the Ravens can beat Kansas City and make it to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to face on court after they lose.
Yeah, I know. And then man, I think that's gonna be cool. We're coming up on, obviously, for the people that don't watch football, looking forward to the Super Bowl. Any Super Bowl predictions?
Super Bowl halftime show predictions? I think that pretty much is going to be a recreation of the pop out. I think that for you talking about the halftime show, right?
Halftime show,
yeah. So for the halftime show, I think that Kendrick's going to recreate the pop out just on a smaller scale. I definitely think like he's going to have like Larry the Clown come out. I think that he's going to I think SZA is definitely going to make an appearance.
Oh yeah, all the stars at the Super Bowl would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be like the closer. That might be the closing song.
Yeah.
And then that'll be the kickoff for like their tour that they're going on. So I'm pretty excited about that. I also wanted to talk about something that like is very near and dear to my heart: wrestling.
Yeah.
So they premiered on Netflix. WWE Raw, man. You were talking about it off camera and talking about our thoughts, and like I'm really excited because for a long time it was like not cool to be like a wrestling fan. Like people looked at you like you were like something was wrong with you for like enjoying wrestling and being a wrestling fan, right? And whereas now like it's like if you watch wrestling, it's not like as like taboo, like people don't judge you. Or maybe it's because like I'm just more comfortable in my age where I'm at. But like it being on Netflix, like kind of like made it more like people didn't have to seek it out, because some people were just like, oh, it's on Netflix, let me just see it. Or like people like watching like the next day, like, oh, The Rock was there. Oh, yeah. I'm saying like from familiar names that people know, and like you could tell that it was like kind of like a presentation. Like it looked like it was just like, yo, this is like what you'll get. Like, come in, buy into us, because it was like a reset. Because wrestling airs year round, right? They don't take a break, but like what they do, they do have like during the holiday, like during December, things wind down, and then like the storylines kind of slow down, and then in January they ramp stuff up.
It turns up again
because the Royal Rumble is in January. So the end of January, right? February, beginning of February, the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble, all of the storylines kick off and get ready, and then you go from the Royal Rumble into WrestleMania and so on and so forth. So I was really excited about that. Like, Hulk Hogan got booed, which was hilarious. I fucking loved it. It was great. Like seeing him just get embarrassed like that.
I love seeing the tweets from the Iron Sheik account.
Oh man, yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan. Yeah, fuck him. So like that was just really cool. And yeah, like I'm just really excited for that. I think SummerSlam, well, I don't think I'm going to SummerSlam in August. It's going to be at MetLife Stadium in Jersey. So it's going to be 2 nights. The first time that it's been like that. So I'm thinking like me and Sarah, like, we probably just won't stay in Jersey for the weekend.
Okay. You said that's in August?
Yeah, in August. Like it's just something like to do. When we went to WrestleMania 40, we had a really good time. It was like a great weekend. So, just it's like festivities. Wrestling fans are like chill. Like, how many people like you know, sometimes you go somewhere, you bump into people who step in somebody's shoe by mistake or something like that. Like, it's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, it was just like, I was like, wow, man. Like, cause you think like, well, wrestling fans, like everybody's like rowdy and stuff like that, but like everybody's really nice. Like, I love graphic t-shirts, as like everybody knows. I have on my wrestling graphic t-shirts. Oh man, that's such a great, like everybody complimenting each other and shit. Like, it's
a community, man.
Yeah, bro. Like you just see it, like it's like it's a judgment-free zone. You go there and you can just like be as weird and as nerdy as you want to be, scream your head off, have your favorites. So, it's all good. Shout out to CM Punk. That's who I roll with. That's my guy.
That's cool as hell. That's gonna be cool. Not to mention though, with it being on Netflix too, how fucking cool it looked and how much money. Yeah,
bro.
They put so much into that shit. Like
Netflix got that bread.
I had never really paid attention to how seamlessly and how intently they go into eras. So like Triple H coming out and him being like, welcome to the Netflix era. And it's like, oh shit, okay. Because I had never paid attention to that up until the Vince McMahon doc. And the doc is when they talk about how intently they rolled out these eras.
Yep.
Like WW, like the Attitude Era and, everything before that.
You had, so it was, you got the Golden Era. Then there's the New Generation era.
Yeah.
Where like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man like left. Right. And then Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker were like the faces. Then the Attitude Era was Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H.
Yeah.
Then after that, so then after the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression era started. And I think a lot of us, like for our age group, like we started college, so like we kind of stopped watching wrestling, right? The Ruthless Aggression era started, and that was like when like Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, John Cena, and Batista rose to the top.
Those guys.
Yeah, became those guys. And then like, you had the PG era where John Cena was like the face of wrestling. And I just felt like, I was like, this white man is trying to be 50 Cent. I just didn't get it. I appreciate John Cena now, but like, before, like
John Cena.
Like
back then it was like
bro, like wearing the chain, it was annoying. Like, and then like, you know what, John Cena's fits, bro. I'm sorry, I gotta go on a mini rant. That shit used to blow mine. Like this man would just wear like some of like the worst sneakers, and then wear jorts. Like it was annoying. It was like I felt like he was cosplaying as like Mark Wahlberg off Memory.
Yeah,
like it was just fucking annoying, bro. Like. Cause Mark Wahlberg, like he wears drip, like that nigga, like he has like some of the best Jordans like ever, and like I just felt like, all right, cool, like they're like John Cena's from Boston. I really felt like he was just like,
but it really fit the times too, because on top of that, he came out with albums,
platinum albums. He stole Yayo's hand thing to the point where like people associate that with John Cena and not Tony Yayo. You can't see me.
Yeah,
like it was just like a lot.
I will give him to that credit. I've seen him on talk shows. When he tried to credit him.
He does.
Like, no, I got that from Tony Yayo. Like,
he always gives Yayo. No, John Cena is like a fucking saint, bro. Like I would be so heartbroken, like if something came out about John Cena like that was bad, because like he's like a perfect human being, bro.
He's a good actor.
You know that he has like the record for most Make-A-Wish foundation. Like
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised.
He broke the record. Like he's made the most wishes come true, like for Make-A-Wish.
Wow.
Like he's just like that kind of person. Like you can't hate. Like it's so hard to dislike John Cena.
He's cemented, man. He's cemented, and he's a really solid actor.
Right.
I like him as an actor.
John Cena earned my respect during the time when he was feuding with The Rock, when The Rock came back, and like growing up, we thought like The Rock on the microphone like was like the best with promos and stuff like that. John Cena
Oh yeah. I remember that. He embarrassed him.
He embarrassed the shit.
Yeah, I remember.
Rock started like writing his lines on his wrist and shit to remember what to say. And yeah, like John Cena, like that I was like, this guy's different.
Like,
okay,
no, I'm really about this shit.
Yeah, like so that he earned my respect, and I was like, all right, cool. Like I'll look past all this shit. He's really about this. Like owning The Rock, like yeah. But moving along, what album are we doing today?
So today,
or project, right?
Yeah. That is a better way to I guess to say it, right? So the project we're getting into today is, man, this guy had a pretty weird 2024. But you know, his legacy, I would say, is cemented. He is one of the big three from the 2010s. And we're talking about J. Cole. You know, J. Cole has had an interesting career, but he has such a steady and solid fan base that sticks by him through and through, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I say shaky 2024 because obviously we know about the Keith that happened and everything like that, and how he just kindly ejected himself from that beef and was like, yeah, nah, this is not for me, and just stuck to his guns. But he's been lately on like a tour of reminding people why they fucked with him in the first place. So he just sold out MSG off the back of this project that we're getting into, and we're talking about Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights originally, even though now it just hit streaming for the first time, but originally it came out in 2010, November 12th, 2010. It was released, and the mixtape was originally called Vilmatic and contained previous leaks from Cole in addition to freestyles. Most of the songs on the tape were slated to be on this album, and most of the tape was produced by Cole himself. The tape also won Best Mixtape at the 2011 BET Hip Hop Awards. So this project was such a big deal for Cole because it was such a big deal for Cole, but also a missed opportunity, as most people know, because it was originally supposed to be his debut album, right? And instead he came out with it as the tape, and then he came out with Sideline Story.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just waiting around, and that impatience and trying to build off the hype that he already had, I think, you know, in retrospect, he made the right decision in putting it out the way that he did, because he had to capitalize off the word and the hype and the buzz. He was on multiple features at that time. He was on a great feature run. He had the Looking for Trouble verse on the Good Fridays freestyles. And just putting this out, I get his frustration because he kind of was just sitting around just waiting for something to happen. And then he took it in his own hands, like, and really put this out. What did you think about when this came out? Was you tapped in with Cole at this time?
Yeah, so the warm-up was my introduction to Cole. Well, my introduction to Cole was seeing him on the cover of The Source, being as the first signee to Roc Nation. He was Roc Nation's flagship artist.
He was on the cover?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on the cover of The Source. And I was like, who is this guy? Like it kind of like came out of nowhere. So like it made me like interested, and so I was able to listen to the warm-up, and I was just like, yo, this dude is going to be like the greatest, like he's next. And like everything just seemed right. Like even his team, like Mark Pitts was his manager. If you know who Mark Pitts is, that was Biggie, one of Biggie's old managers that came up. So, you know, Mark Pitts, Jay-Z, he's from North Carolina, had connections to Little Brother. Like I just felt like him being like a uber Nas fan, I was just like all in, right? So then you fast forward to Friday Night Lights, and like he was I think the Vilmatic freestyle came out, first, right? And like he was rapping over, and then so you have Vilmatic, and which one was over Devil Wizard or Devil in a New Dress? That was Vilmatic?
That was Vilmatic, yeah.
Right. So I heard that, and I was just like, I'm sold.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy's, this is it. Like he's like, you know, at this point in time when Friday Night Lights came out, I thought, I'm gonna tell you who I thought were going to be the ones. I thought it was going to be Wale, Cudi, and Cole.
That's not far off.
Yeah, like I thought like those three were going to like be like the ones. I didn't believe in Drake, and Kendrick was still on the rise. Like Kendrick wasn't Kendrick yet. Like I wasn't like fully like aware of what Kendrick was capable of doing yet. So I'm just telling you, like in my mind, like I was just like, all right, this is like these three dudes like just represent like what I like, what I'm into. Like they speak to me, they speak what I'm into. Like it just made all the sense in the world to me, right?
Yeah.
And Jake, like this Friday Night Lights project, like when I think about it now, it's not better than the warm up. I still think the warm up is the superior project, but
I like the warm up a lot.
But Friday Night Lights kind of like solidified what Cole was going to do, and I wish that this was his debut album, even though I don't think that the singles from this album would have worked as well as the singles like that worked for Cole, like Workout Plan and Who Dat. Like those songs like got on radio and did what they were supposed to do for him and crossed over. But I really do wish that Friday Night Lights was his debut album, because he probably would have had like his fans are like some of the most loyal fans of hip hop anyway. But I think that the impact and the way he was respected probably would have helped. But maybe we wouldn't get the Cole that we have now. So maybe that's just like me thinking about a perfect storm for J. Cole and him not going through the trials and tribulations, because maybe we wouldn't have the Jermaine Cole that we have now. But,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed it. Like I was like, all right, this isn't better than the warm up, but like this is a phenomenal introduction. Like there's some people's introduction to J. Cole is Friday Night Lights, not the warm up.
Yeah.
And like I just thought like, oh, this is to me, like that would have been a perfect debut album for him.
I think so too. I think but you know, like I said, in retrospect, the way that he released this, it makes sense, because it's just like, yo, I'm sitting on all these songs and they're amazing, and y'all niggas is not focusing up to give me the proper rollout. I'm just gonna take matters into my own hands and put this out the way that I'm gonna put it out. Luckily, he had platforms like, you know, like Dat Piff and all of these mixtape based platforms to really give this the look that it deserved at the time. But it was the perfect storm for him as far as, you know, the feature, well, before the feature with Jay-Z, but the Come Up came out, DJ On Point. It was good, but it also just wasn't that moment yet.
Yeah, it wasn't that moment yet.
Yeah, and then the Warm Up came out, which was better, significantly better than the Come Up. And it had more structure to it. And then this coming out, I think it was like, oh shit, okay, that's 3. All right, you know, and whatever people think about Cold World, I know what I think about it. And whatever people think about it, he still gave you 3 mixtapes that were solid. And it was enough for people to keep checking for him after that, because Born Center came out after Cold World, and people love Born Center.
Yeah, I love Born Center.
So, you know, but what got Cole officially on my radar was the Blueprint 3 verse. That's when I was like, oh shit, okay, this guy.
Really?
Yeah. That's when I first was like, oh, that was like 2009. That's when I first started.
Yeah, Everyday Stars, man.
That's when I was like, okay, this dude is dope. And then I went back and I looked up the Come Up, downloaded the Warm Up, and I was like all about Cole after that.
Okay.
Because everything that he was talking about at that time, like I related to student loans, college raps. I was going to Mercy College, paying way too much. Just all of that shit was like super nuanced. The dollar and the dream thing, it was super on the humble. It's like, yo, I fuck with this dude, you know? So yeah, the project comes out. Friday Night Lights, the intro kicks it off, which is like, I love the buildup of it. This is your moment, you know, what you gonna do with it. It was great. It was just such a like humble and wholesome buildup to it. And then we lead right into Too Deep for the intro, which is a flip from the Erykah Badu record.
Should know.
Yeah.
The opening of the project, like it was so like. I hope that down the line, like somebody like creates like a play or something like that, like where like they use music from like what J. Cole is talking about, right? Because he really did perfectly depict like a group of like people and fans that like weren't being spoken to, because it seemed like for rappers, they were either, you know, talking about like becoming rich, like, you know, not going to school, like not realistic. They weren't talking about like realistic things. Like everything seemed like fantasy or something like out of reach. They were either drug dealers or like they were getting record deals and then becoming famous, or like, or miraculously they just happen to have money. With J. Cole, he was kind of like very like honest and like very hard on his sleeve, right? My biggest gripe my two biggest gripes with Cole were one, I don't like J. Cole singing on hooks. I don't like, he's very adamant and like very big on like singing on his songs. And like, I just don't want it. I'm like, yo, get like you got like him and Miguel were like, you know, managed by the same person. Just give Miguel the same, bro. He won't charge you. Just do it. You know, that was one. And then two, and I can admit that this might be a little biased, hypocritical of me. Like, a lot of the narratives of his songs kind of like bled into each other and were kind of like the same. It was kind of like he was repeating the same sentiment. Granted, I am a huge Pusha T fan, and we know that he raps about coke like every song. So I understand that like somebody can be like, oh, so you could tolerate Pusha T rapping about selling drugs, but like, you know, over and over again, I'll find different ways to flip like a coke bar or whatever. Like, but J. Cole, you know, for a couple projects, kind of like was rapping about the struggle and the come up, and like, you know, him like pretty much like proving people wrong, or like him like overcoming adversity. And like that's 10 times more relatable to what I could go through. But I guess because that wasn't an enjoyable time for me, I just don't like to revisit it.
I get that. I think with Cole, it was cool. Like, if listeners and viewers, if you haven't tapped into his inevitable podcast that he has with his manager, it's a really, really good listen, and it gives you a lot of great deep perspective on the background of the making of these first 3 mixtapes. It's a really, really good time, because, you know, in the making of this, you know, and even just in his career, he talks about how he was the influence that Kanye had on him. And I think you can hear that on a lot of these songs and in his early writing, because from what he talks about like how he was finding it hard to structurally rap about things that weren't necessarily his story. So, but like, you listen to things like All of the Lights from Kanye, which is not from a Kanye perspective. It's just a rap. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a rap, you know, like it's a good structure rap, and he's telling a different story. And you got a bunch of those moments on College Dropout too. And Cole was having a problem with like the depiction of like the violence in music, and not necessarily being a quote unquote gangster rapper, and finding a way to tell his story from such a small city that was underrepresented. And then you see somebody like Kanye that dresses the way he dresses, and he comes across super peaceful, and just kind of he just raps for the art of it, but then also like from his perspective that a lot of people he feels can't really relate. Seeing somebody do that, he was super inspired by it. So like, hearing him tell those type of stories on that podcast is really, really cool. And he's an underrated storyteller in the sense of like just...
Oh yeah, I can't wait till we get into Two-Face.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions for you. So, and wait for me to answer both, and you can answer whichever one you want first. Okay. J. Cole's New York roots, right? Why wouldn't he be able to be considered the king of New York? That's question 1. Right? You could choose the other one. J. Cole's North Carolina roots. Why would he not be hailed as the king of the South?
Okay. So I think it's because, so one, I can answer both. So like, one, he doesn't rep New York to be called the king of New York. So it will kind of be a slap in the face for the rappers that are in New York that want to go for that.
You don't think he reps New York?
Nah, he reps it not on record. He reps it like as his origin of like going to St. John's and coming up here as much as he did when he was young, and you know, all of that. Like, he talks about the duality of like being in North Carolina and being here. He talks about that a lot. But I don't think he would be considered like king of the South per se, because I don't think he's like he's so singular. He's not speaking for the South. You know, his story is so singular. It's not, yeah, and then the South got my back. It's all in the speech too. When you rapping about like, you know, your region or where you're from.
Okay.
You know,
I was just thinking about it because like Tupac is not from LA. If anything, he would have more claim to Oakland.
Yeah.
Right. Than LA. But like LA absolutely wholeheartedly claims him. Like I know that like Oakland natives definitely be like, your Pac is from here, like came up here, Digital Underground, all that stuff, right?
But he has something to do with how people perceive that.
Right. So yeah, because he just started screaming out West Side, and like he was based in LA, the crew he was running with. So I guess for me, when I think of it, like me personally, and maybe because the way I was introduced to Cole, because it was more so like marketing from dudes that went to St. John's. Like there were guys that like went to, like there's dudes till this day, like you know my boy Greg Colley, the one that directed After Hours.
Yeah.
He went to St. John's, so like you can't tell him shit about Cole. Like he waves that Cole flag heavy. So I know that there's like a large group of St. John's like students or like people from Queens that like were around like during the buzz, because his whole team is from Queens. So sometimes like I wondered to myself, like if he even like leaned into that, like I know that New York is very territorial like with that, but like he does have, in my opinion, he does have claim to it. He has claim to both.
Yeah.
Like he could absolutely like be like, he could say like, I'm like what rapper from down south is out rapping J. Cole? Shit.
Right.
What rapper in New York could step up to that nigga? I'm talking about like as like his peer, not like, the legends. I'm just saying like, could say like he don't have claim to being the king of New York. Like he could, like if he wanted to, he could just rap circles around niggas. Like he just chooses not to.
He can.
He
can rap. He can, the art, the skill of rap, absolutely. Right. And he could ruffle a few feathers and say that shit. But people wouldn't embrace it. They'd just see it as a threat.
I think Cole should lean into that shit.
He not gonna lean into shit, bro.
I think at the very least he should lean into being king of the South.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think he leans more. He would like to lean more into the king of rap.
I mean,
I don't think
so.
I think that's what he would do. He would lean into that.
He was doing it, but like he doesn't want any he doesn't want any pushback from.
Yeah, which is like, oh, that's some soft shit, man.
It's weird. Like I would love to have a conversation with him, or like I'm a muster up the courage to hit up one of my boys that's like in his camp and just like ask the question like, yo, what's his deal?
Yeah.
Because like I think that's what's frustrating, is that he's capable of doing it, and that he would probably he could be successful.
Yeah,
and saying like, yo, Kendrick, I'm better than you. Fuck up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But I think Cole is very much of that era of like, there's this Cole picture that I love because it just reminds me so much of my childhood. He's in his room. He's laid back on the bed and he's shooting a basketball. He's throwing a basketball in the air and he's surrounded by a bunch of like posters from like Slam magazine on the walls. I'm like, damn, that reminds me of my room.
Yeah,
that's how my room was.
I think all of our rooms like.
Yeah, and he just reminds me of that kid that listened to music all day with their room shut and rapped to themselves, not necessarily for a goal,
just doing
it. And I think that's what he is.
Yeah, I definitely.
He's just that kid.
Yeah, I definitely just had like magazines, just.
Yeah, I would just rap, and I would throw on. I will buy instrumentals. I'll buy singles from this store, because what will come with singles? The instrumental, right? So like you buy the single, it comes with the instrumental, you put it on and you just rap. Or I would just write raps to the singles, like Dr. Knockboo, I wrote something to, because I had the single. For whatever reason, I had the single itself. And then after the song goes off, and we just play the instrumental. So I was like, oh shit, I could write something to this. And I just wrote to it.
Gotta leak those Reggie tapes.
Yeah, man. I had a group and everything. I had a rap group.
Yo, you wanna laugh? During Christmas, my little brothers were here, Gavin Jr. and Thomas. And Gavin Jr. and Thomas, they attended school in Atlanta like their whole lives. Like me, I just finished high school down there for my last 2 years. And it was funny because little Gavin blurted out like, yeah, I was in the jerk crew. And we was like, what? Hey, yo. And he was like, and I forgot about the jerk. Yeah. But like him and his friends, like they used to like battle kid, like, like in cities outside of New York, like going to like sporting events is like a big deal. So you go to a football game or a basketball game. And he said, him and his friends who wear like matching shirts with stuff on them, like whatever the name. He wanted to tell me the name of the crew because I already I thought I was hysterical.
You could probably look that shit up now. He's probably out there somewhere.
And he said that they would just battle. I was like, word? Like, and I was like, yo, bro, just don't tell nobody using the Jerk Crew, because that sounds crazy.
That sounds insane. A Jerk Crew? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm up off that. Like, bro, what? Let me see. What was the first single that we heard from this project was Blow Up, right?
I think so. Well, damn, was it Blow Up or was it Vilmatic? Well, for me, I can say what I heard first. I heard Vilmatic first.
Okay. Maybe it was Vilmatic, but Vilmatic was a moment because obviously Devil in a New Dress was the beat that he rapped over, which is one of the greatest beats ever.
Yes. Shout out to Bank.
Yeah, shout out to Bank, man. And I love that when you look up this album, it says Bank. You know, there is like the back and forth online about who produced what and who contributed to what. Kanye could really just silence it, and he's being an asshole. Yeah. He could just come out and say who did what. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, it's obvious he don't like Bank. Yeah. He don't like Bank and just
a lot of people don't like Bank, unfortunately. Yeah. I think he has a crazy online presence where if you add him on anything, he will respond. Yeah. That nigga will respond and argue with you. But Vilmatic was one of the highlights, and Blow Up being like the first song that I heard from this project coming out. Bitch, I'm about it. Just felt grand.
Yeah,
it felt
I hated the hook though.
Yeah, no, I never really liked the hook that much, but I liked the song and I believed in it.
I love the song. I love the melody. I love the la la. I was like, yo, this is fucking great.
Yeah,
like, this is an amazing song.
Let me see. So I did want to skip around a bit because it is a lengthy project, but Before I'm Gone, what'd you think of that one?
It's impressive how he could. It's impressive how he could find so many ways to rap about self-doubt and give motivational talk, because like it's like I can point it out and be like, yo, this he already talked about this topic, but like he's such a good rapper that it just works. And like I guess like, you know, some people can like find like their favorite motivational song from Cole that works for them.
Agreed.
And I was just like, all right, like that works, like, you know, and I'm impressed and everything like that. So, you know, he definitely was able to like tap in to a subject matter that just really, really worked for him. And like, because like he, you know, he experienced it, he lived it, like, you know, I thought that was really cool. Like even him like telling a story like, yo, he had to like really like tell his landlord like, yo, I promise you I'm going to become like a famous rapper.
Yeah.
I don't have rent this month.
Right.
Please don't evict me. Like,
there's bigger things I'm worrying about right now.
I thought that was cool.
Rapper.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I fuck with that one too for those very reasons. And then back to the topic is such a special moment on here for me. I always loved that beat. That was the Cassie instrumental. I forget the name of her song that she had to this, but it was a song with Diddy, unfortunately. But I always used to like this beat, and I used to like the song. Like Cassie was never the best singer, but I always liked the instrumentals that they chose for her. And this was one of those. Yeah, this was one of those moments, and I got a chance to see him perform this live actually because where was I? MSG. I went Barclay. He was here for which tour was that? I want to say it was the off season. Yeah, it was after the off season came out. He went on tour. He stopped at Barclay. It was fucking packed.
He didn't perform this in South by Southwest too?
He probably did. Probably did.
I'm sorry, that's why I saw it. I've only seen Cole twice.
And he had like this whole speech like, I just really want to perform this, but like, you know, shout out to maybe the 10 people that probably know this, blah, blah, blah. And then he put this on. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, and they lost.
Of course I fucking know this. And I rapped this shit almost word for word, man. That was a big moment. And then, so that one takes us into You Got It, which features Wale, who was another really big artist at this time that like people was waiting on to see.
Wale was perfect for this song. And I wrote down that like, Wale is really good at rapping to women.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people say like, oh, Drake got it. Like, nah, Wale got it. Like, Wale is like the heir apparent to like with Fab and LL Cool J, the groundwork they laid down for like catering to women.
Yeah.
And their raps. Wale like fully understands and can do that. Like, I think Wale was a perfect choice to be put on the song.
And what's so cool about Wale too is he does have a lot of songs that cater to women, but then he'll also put basketball references in there.
Yeah.
And wrestling references.
Yeah. I love the way he does callbacks, man. Like I really wish that Wale could have got what he deserved as far as like recognition and stuff like that. Like,
man.
I really do.
Yeah. And I think it's funny too, right? Because looking back, I was thinking about like the, Wale, his ascension and or even like thereof, some people would say. But like, I think back then he got a bad rap for just speaking up for what he felt like he deserved. So like, him being in a wrestling crowd and them talking shit about him, was that wrestling? He was somewhere and he was watching the show and somebody said something about him on mic and he heard it and he went up to them.
Yeah, it was wrestling. Because he got banned.
Yeah. So he went up to them and like called them out about it. Or Complex coming out with that list of like the best albums and he was somewhere really, really low on the list and him calling and spazzing out on them.
Yeah, it was, I definitely, I understand like his gripes. I just think that like for him, like it was just bad timing and shit like that. And
yeah, for sure. I think it was bad timing. For sure. That's the best way to put it. I think it was bad timing because I can never fault somebody for speaking up for their art. You speaking up for what you feel like you deserve. And I think today that would be more respected than it was back then.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that like with him, shit was just bad timing, bro. Like certain shit, like I'm like, damn, like he ain't deserved that, But yes, you got it. Was very good. We saw on Enchanted. I just wrote cold blacked.
Yeah. Oh, and you said Enchanted?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
That's all I wrote. He blacked. Like Cole, like he is Jermaine Cole is so good at rapping. I think that's why so many people were upset when he backed out of going at it with Kendrick. Like it could have been like a friendly sparring, but like I said, maybe he got a tip like this ain't what you think it's gonna be.
He blacked, but I kind of think Omen got the better verse.
Okay. Okay.
He really talking on that verse.
Okay.
Like it's a really good verse. And then I really like the chorus. Come with me. Like the Pac.
The flip on Hail Mary.
Yeah. It's a really good song. I love the production of it, how subtle it is. It's a good one. And then what about Higher?
Cool is just, he's rapping about same thing again. So it's like, it's just another take on it. So it's not that like I said again, it's not bad. It doesn't suck. I'm like, all right, again.
Yeah. And I also don't really like when he talks about, when he has his songs dedicated to women, they come off really corny.
I mean, I think that's just like his personality coming through. I don't think that J. Cole is like the smoothest dude. So yeah, that makes sense. Like, I could definitely get that. Like, I don't think Cole is like out here like, slaying the women.
Yeah, no.
I think his celebrity kind of like helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
With that, but I don't think he was out here like just
and he's been married for years.
Yeah, he has been, and this is no side to you, but like J. Cole is tall, so I don't think he had to do a lot.
Maybe not.
To you know what I'm saying? Like that's I don't think he had to say a lot to get women, but like I definitely know that being significantly I always thought I was tall, and then like I have my tall friends, and I was like, oh, it's a lot easier for you, huh, bro?
But then you got In the Morning where he gets it right, but he gets it right by way of Drake, right? This is one of his classics in his catalog, I would say.
You ever played this for a girl? You ever played this for a girl?
Yeah, for sure. Well, when this came out, I was in a relationship. So, yeah.
I was playing this for, I played this song for like 5 different girls back to back to back.
Back to back to back.
Singing it sound like, yo, just think about this.
Yeah.
Putting on my real quiet storm voice. Like, I heard this song, I thought about you,
thought about you.
It was over.
It's like, wait, not this part, this part.
Yeah.
The Drake verse. Because the Drake verse is what really drives this home. And they was really buddy around this time. What was that? I think they were. What was that footage of them buying each other's albums? Remember that?
Yeah,
It was Best Buy.
For Born Center.
Oh, that was Born Center.
Yeah, Born Center, and what project did Drake have?
Maybe Nothing Was the Same.
Probably so. Yeah, and they were like looking out for one another.
Yeah,
you know, light skin power.
The light skin Titans.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, this is a classic in this catalog. Where do you think their relationship is today?
I'm pretty sure like if they see each other, it's all good, but I don't think they like texting or like FaceTime or anything like that anytime soon. I think it's kind of just like, all right, bro, like shit got weird after we put that song out.
Yeah. You think Drake feels away?
I think Drake feels away about everything, bro. Like Drake is fucking I definitely know, like, I mean, I'm a nobody. I'll probably never ever meet Drake or anything, but me and him wouldn't be friends. I wouldn't be able to be his friend, bro.
Yeah.
He's too, like, what he wants in friendships and stuff like that on certain things, like I just don't see, because I'm genuinely looking at this thing as like a rap battle. Like to me, like, all right, as a former athlete in high school, guys, obviously I don't think that I was like some all pro athlete, but when I played sports and like people talk shit, especially like amongst me and my friends, like obviously like stuff would happen, but like I never took things like personal when my friends talk shit on the basketball court or on the football field. Like, I just didn't. Like, because like it's competitive, and like in competitive situations, like people always want to get an edge on you, like, and I just didn't. And like I could be honest, like I'm pretty sensitive, but playing sports is somewhere where I understood like I cannot give the person this edge. I cannot, like, so, you know, and I definitely liken hip hop to sports. So seeing how like Drake is reacting and like being so upset and like unmad at people and things like that, like certain things can just be a conversation. And like for me, like if I deem somebody my friend, I can tell my friend I'm pissed off at them and then move on, versus I don't fuck with this person. I'm just not that kind of person. Like if it's that easy for me to say I don't fuck with you, that kind of means I didn't fuck with you like that to begin with.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, if you're really my friend, it's really hard for me to walk away from a friendship unless like you have to like super duper violate. And I just don't think in certain situations, like especially with this rap battle, that Drake is. And I get it. Like some people are like, no, you know, him. We were talking about LeBron James and DeMar DeRozan. Some people are like, nah, like he was called a pedophile. I'm just like, Drake said a lot of shit about Kendrick. Like, you know, like it is what it is. Like everybody like has like their lines drawn in the sand. I just think like it's a fucking battle rap. Like it's battle raps. It's not life or death. Like raps is rap. Like
yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe these dudes do need to meet up somewhere and fight or something.
I think so. I think there's not enough fights going on.
Yeah, right.
Like niggas don't really fight.
Scrap.
That what was the 21 Savage meme? Like niggas don't really fight no more.
Yeah, that shit happens.
I gotta find it now. It's so funny. Niggas don't really fight no more.
Niggas don't really fight anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay. But let's see. What else we got here? Two-Face is a song that I really enjoy.
What a moment.
Because like I really feel like, you know, every artist has this. When you become famous, like you're struggling with it because it's like you're famous, so like your old life is no longer your old life. You have fans that stop you in the street. You have people that have expectations of you. And I think for Cole, he was really having a hard time because like he was being told that he had to like dress a certain way or like wear certain things and do certain things. And I think that like that just really wasn't what he wanted. And I think like that's why like now like he's gone so far like left. I think like he done that on purpose. Like I wish that they didn't force like him to like wear like the Versace shirts and like shit like that, or like that event, that BET Awards where he had on the same outfit. French Montana. You know what I'm saying? Like I really think like that
was a waking up moment for him.
Yeah, like, you know, so I just think that like he has like a very clear path on like he doesn't want to like be pigeonholed in what the expectations are. Like I feel like J. Cole has had so many experiences of things where like they try to like pretty much like put him in like a box. He was like, yo, you will never put me in this box. You will never
this is so far left from who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all niggas is just trying to give me the typical rapper package,
right?
Of like the chains and the flashy clothes. Like,
never.
This is not me.
Yeah, this is not happening.
Yeah, and man, he really took ownership of like his how he was supposed to be and the perception of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody. I don't think any other rapper has done it that well. And anybody else kind of just leans into that shit. But Two-Face is such a clever fucking song, man. And it leans into his storytelling ability. Talking about being that close to death and just leaning closer into it and being like, yeah, nah, fuck it. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
Right.
And but then questioning that thought process, like, yo, like what the fuck was I thinking? Incredible storytelling.
Let's see. Premeditated murder. Is something where I was like, oh,
yeah,
like that was also like a leak song, and like I was like, yo, Cole is that boy.
Yeah. Premeditated murder is one of them ones. This is a lengthy project, so there is a lot of room for misses. Is there anything on here that you are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Home for the Holidays. Yeah. Definitely Home for the Holidays was like a mix with me. Let's see what else. Like, because like there are like Cost Me a Lot. Like I get like with the song, but
Cost Me a Lot.
Yeah, I just
yeah. Like, no, I don't really need that one either. I didn't need Love Me Not either.
It's funny you say that because like it's some of his best storytelling though.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like I get it. Like, yeah, I don't need.
So it's like, so that's the thing with some of his storytelling with Cole, where it's like, yeah, your storytelling can be really good structurally, you know, but as a record, it's like, I don't really need this, right. You know, I don't really need this as far as like, especially for the replay value of it. Because on the other end, I got Love Yours, which is incredible.
Yeah.
I can listen to that. That's a classic Cole record. And that came years later, but yeah.
It's palatable. You want to know what's funny? I wish that Sea World was a real single.
Was a real single?
Yeah. Like, like anytime you flip Pain by Tupac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that beat is such like I love that beat. So like, yeah, like you flip that, like you got me. I'm sold. I'm in. I'm bought in.
What about the Autograph?
Okay. I wrote this. No rapper has a better connection with their fans than J. Cole.
I don't think so either.
I think that J. Cole has a relationship with his fans that is so unique. The way how like his fans are like loyal to him. And I think that a lot of rappers like wish that their fans were like that, like for him. He's becoming the Billy Joel of rap. Hear me out. As far as like what the fact that MSG is his home. Another reason why I say if he argued to be the king of New York, besides like, you know, the legends again, he would be like, all right, which one of y'all other niggas can sell out Madison Square Garden in 4 weeks straight? Yeah. Do it.
Facts. It's funny you bring that up. Billy Joel did MSG on New Year's Eve. And one of my friends from work went with her girlfriend. And she was like, yo, we had nosebleed seats because, you know, just getting tickets in the building was like $600 to $800 type shit, no matter where you were kind of thing. And she got them as a gift. She was like, yo, that shit was like monumental. It was incredible. Like that nigga he really owns that shit, you know?
I feel like Billy Joel got his own interest in them in Madison Square Garden. I feel like
he just goes and does what he wants.
Yeah,
like
bro.
He's Billy Joel. But yeah, so she was just telling me about that, and I'm like, damn, like, and bringing in New Year's, watching Billy Joel, that's incredible.
Fucking fire, bro. Yeah, man. Cole is the Billy Joel of rap. I don't care what nobody says. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's no matter what, because Billy Joel ain't got to drop nothing else. He'll just show up. And I think for Cole, it's actually a good comparison too, though, because Cole makes you feel, if you're a Cole fan, he has such a personal relationship with his fans because he'll make you feel like he's just talking to you.
Yep.
Even with the rollout of his podcast, you know, you got a chance to see how he did with when he will put out the episodes. You'll get a text message from a number that says like, yo, new episode is out, and the area code for the text message was a North Carolina area code.
He fucked up. It should have been 212.
See, but it makes it, but you know where he reps. So it makes you feel like he's actually texting you. You know, it's actually like a mind game type thing, but it works. It's amazing marketing. It's like, and this is the kind of route that niggas wanted to see from Drake, like post battle. It's like, yo, remind people why they fuck with you again. Granted, he did 100 gigs, but for me, a millennial, I wasn't about a millennial that's used to like how things are played out now. I wasn't about to comb through all of these gigs to get some shit.
Yeah.
And I know there's some good stuff on there, but it's like, yo, you need to put out a proper documentary or something if you're going to put all of this out, you know?
All right. That's all right. Valid. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever be able to get through with Drake.
And I really want to, because I know it's some shit on there, but bro, I'm not about to go through all of this. Give me a documentary. I'm pro documentary.
I'll get it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we're at a good spot. Was there anything else you want to highlight from here?
Nah, man. Yeah, no, let's get it. Let's get into this rating.
Okay. So what you got?
So for this project, like I had to really be honest with myself. Like it is nostalgic. It does take me back to a time. I do not need to revisit it though. So like that's like a huge part. Like so like the rapping isn't the problem. It's the fact that I don't like it's timestamp for me, but I don't need to revisit this project. And I think I made the mistake of listening to the warm up, and like I need to listen to the warm up.
Got it.
So I give this album this project, this mixtape, 4 out of 5 waffles. I was thinking about 3.5, but I was like, that's too heavy handed because this is a good project and the lyricism is there.
Yeah.
A lot of my highlight beats are not his beats though. Like the beats that he made himself, I'm like I'm not a fan of his production, but I can recognize greatness and not be a hater and not try to be like tongue in cheek or make any jokes or anything like that. Like this is a solid project from Cole.
Yeah. Wow, that's 2 for 2, man. I think with these ratings. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 4 as well. I think a lot of what saves this project, besides it being a good project, like if you were there, I would love to. Matter of fact, I would love to hear a new Cole fan's take on this project. Like, what do you think with a fresh set of ears? Because we are blinded by the nostalgia of this. Like this plays such a significant part in me coming to New York. Like I was in New York for 2 years when this album came out, when I met Taurian and like a lot of the people that are in my core friend group in New York, this album came out. Like, so it's like, it came out at such an interesting time. And I was, and for the blog era too, blog era was such a major time. So it's like, I can't knowingly strip all of that away because I'm so tied to it. But it helps that the project itself is still really good. It's just that it's just too long. I think there's some songs on here that we can do without. If we had like a solid 14 tracks from here, I'd feel much better about it.
Right. Yeah. And I think because it was a mixtape, he was very loose with the
yeah, that's true. With the structure. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But keeping that in mind, it's still a solid project. But if you're listening to it or haven't listened to it, I encourage you to and give us your thoughts on it. Let us know what you think. What do you think he's going to drop on the fall off? Like, what do you think Cole's career is going to look like after the fall off? Is it going to be a retirement? Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you're thinking. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And we're out of here.
I'll catch you guys next time.
Done.